Glasgow by Raymond Depardon. There's a really interesting story to this book. About 1980, Raymond was commissioned by the Sunday Times to go and shoot a contrasting story on the class divide in Glasgow. He was to shoot the middle classes and he was to shoot the working classes. I think he attempted it, he couldn't do it because I think he found that there wasn't really a middle class to shoot, and he absolutely nailed a beautiful depiction of the people, the colour of working class Glasgow at the time of 1980. Subsequently, the article which was supposed to go in these pictures never surfaced, and these pictures were put away for 20 odd years, I think, until 2013, where the exhibition Such a Sweet Moment was exhibited in, I think, the Grand Palais in Paris, and it was a retrospective of his work in colour around the world. Raymond is renowned for his colour work, and this is really a beautiful study of that colour work. And anyway, in the exhibition was some of the Glasgow pictures. They were curated into the show. And I think what surfaced from that was this undiscovered story of Raymond Depardon's Glasgow. And here it is. And it's beautiful. And I want to share it with you. It's 112 pages. It's 11.5 by 9. It's easily available. You can get it on Amazon. And it's just a wonder. And I'm going to just go through some of the pictures with you. And I'm just going to just make you think about how they came together. So let's go with it, right? It's 112 pages, like I said, published in 2016, this, so that was about 3 years after it was discovered, and the exhibition was in Paris. And there's a picture of Raymond there. It was all shot on a Leica, 28mm, Kodachrome 64 as well. Now, there's the William Boyd intro. It's bilingual, it's in French and it's in the English version here. William Boyd lived in Glasgow at the time of the 80s when he was shooting when Raymond was shooting the story, and he discusses that in here. And he's just discussing how Glasgow is represented to the world in this, and about Depardon's work. It's really nice. And that's it, really, there. And at the back, there's a list of bibliographies of, I think this is his work. It's in French, and it just sort of goes from photo books to just different sort of timeline from 1974 to 2012. And it's just sort of showing a sort of outline of work. So it's not really related to what's going on in here. And that's it, really. There's a big thank you, un grand merci, and then the main exhibitions and stuff like that. But there isn't any related text at all to what the book, or where the book geographically is focusing on. So I presume it's the slums, the Govan area, I think that's what it was called. What is special about this is you can see Depardon searching for colour in a bleak landscape of Scottish, northern Britain light. And he's seeking colour. He's seeking colour to stand out. And what he does so beautifully in this book is he finds colour, but he finds colour not sitting there waiting to be taken, but appearing in the shot. So he's either seeing shots where the colour's about to come into the shot, or he's photographing colour already established within that landscape. So I guess the boarding up, the significant colour coding in that landscape, and the blue darkness of light, and we've got the yellow, and we've got the boarding, and there's some greyness and bleakness to it, and we've got this colour. So that's what I mean about the landscape there, and the colour added as part of it, as colour as part of it. it's very moody. It's very atmospheric. It's light expressive, isn't it? It's evocative. It's beautiful. And that girl obviously finds herself in that landscape, and again, he's searching for colour. And this is the cover, and there's a few pictures around the colour. This is just a phenomenal shot, isn't it? It's that light. He's chosen a certain time to go out and shoot. There is a greyness to it, and I love his use of shadows. And I think it's a book of composition, isn't it? It's a book of design element again. And if you think about some of the books I've looked at, they're really strong. All great books are about composition. And I know that might sound obvious, but there's always certain things within that composition which stand out. And in this instance, it's the colour. He's searching for colour. I hope that makes sense. Again, you know, and that sort of white barrier of the background and how it sort of lines in with that, you know, interlinks with that, isn't it, in that sort of third area. If you look at the intersection points, they're here. So it's all about this, it's all about the wall and the hiddenness of it, with that girl hiding, maybe. And this is a sort of standard thing, wasn't it? Like this is a sign of people marking their relationships with people. And look at that. There's definitely a bleakness, a certain time of day to this, isn't there? And there's always something. He lends you and leads you into that landscape. But it's shots like this, you know, which are very simple, but an amazing understanding of integrating different narratives within the shot. And, you know, you've got that could be just some lonely little kid crying, couldn't it, if you looked at it like that? But then you've got the scene, and getting this little kid here is, you know, I guess it's a different period where you could shoot kids a lot, you know, in terms of, there wasn't that sort of paranoia there is now with a guy walking around with a Leica in the middle of a working class part of Glasgow, and now it would be a little bit different. But then I guess that this little kid probably ignored him to a point, and Raymond was able to sort of get this bit going on the shot, because he makes it look as though it's just momentarily. It might be momentarily, who knows? But that's a beautiful question you can ask yourself. Again, look at the colour. Just putting a bit of colour in. 2 bits of colour right at the end. There's 3, you know, red, yellow, blue in there. It's fantastic detail. And a bit of structure going on there. And black and white. So here's this bit about finding colour in the environment. So this is the bit which appears. This is the bit which is part of the landscape. His composition and light and use of it, he's looking for it, and then he's waiting for all the elements to come together. And I bet he shot that. If you take them 2 people out, I bet he shot that on its own as well. And then you got that. You can see the Kodachrome working, can't you? It's magical. There's almost here, look, it's almost like a continuous old panoramic, isn't it? With bleakness. And these shots here are part of a sequence. But I think if you want to see the sequence, you can go and buy it. Again, finding the blueness, finding the colour of the red, and waiting for the colour to come into the shot to leave its signature. And that's what I think he's about. Again, waiting for the colour. this I just love this shot. And this is a great example of waiting for that colour to take over the shot. And we're questioning, you know, the yellow car. Not easy shots to do in this sort of light. And I guess with the Leica and that beautiful 28mm lens he was using, then it's going to be very easy to work on in low light with, you know, but still a craft. Look at that. You'd make, this is sort of made out as though it's all shot in one day, and it's not. I think he shot this over, I would say, a roughly 20-day period. I'm estimating, going by what I've read, and that it was a total 2 10-day journeys. And when he went to photograph the working classes, they just came out, grabbed him by the hand, and let him off. And you know, I wish we had that trusting aspect now in our communities, where we could just walk into communities and there'd be a trust level and understanding. And there are some photographers still doing that in the communities and gaining a lot of trust and recognition, and it does happen, and you've got to work hard to get that. Again, we've got the sequence. There's a lot of sequences in this shot, in this book. I mean, I love this. You know, when you're waiting for it, it comes, and it's capturing the essence of seeing this guy. And look at the abstractness of the shot. It's all over the place with this. It's almost like a collage, isn't it, of layers. You've got this layer here, and then you've got this layer here. There's a bit of tilting on there, and then you've got this guy in here, and he's looking. Look at the sunlight. He's using that light to contrast, to define the landscape, and he's using the light to define his abstract elements, which would be the colour. And again, I think he's got the colour there. Almost looking black and white, isn't it? It's almost taken the shot to a mono. And using colour to introduce a sort of another type of level, I guess, on the streets. You know, you've got the day-to-dayness of people, and then who are just going about their business with their chores and stuff, and then you've got the alcohol side of it, and this aspect here. How this was how this work was left uncovered for 20 odd years is beyond me. And again, you know, you go to this, it's reportage, it's street photography, but look at the colour references, the greens. It's black and white almost, but then we were led to believe it actually looks with a feel, it looks like Paris. And then we've got the interaction with the human element. It's done it there as well. It's great interaction. It's fantastic, subtle street photography, isn't it? Again, look at this is so clever, right? Let's look at this. Let's break this shot down, right? Yellow's the theme, I would guess. But we've got the rectangles here, which take up a lot of the shot. It's all rectangles. We've got the signage, the posters. We've got legs. We've got it bites. So there's a reference maybe to sex a little bit. I don't know. And then we've got yellow. We've got this yellow here, surrounding the boys. We've got obviously the yellow there. We've got yellow bands there and yellow stripes on there. We've got yellow there. And we've got a yellow van, right, whether it's parked up or whether it's driving by, I do not know, but it's taken up a sort of part of the background which leads you over there. And it's really, it's just a master photographer, that. And what did he see first? Did he see the yellow? Did he see the yellow there? Or was these kids there? And this is what I was talking about before, how he uses he's using the colour, what comes into the frame, to lay the foundations of the shot. And he's done it with the landscape, and he's done it with this here. Phenomenal. And here, using red of the bookmakers, but also the wounded, and we could associate that with blood. And I love the way he's got the special brew can in here. Oh, this for me, this is what I was talking about before in terms of capturing a moment and again keeping consistent with adding colour. So what did he get first? Was he having a bit of a crack with these guys here, and then this woman with a red coat come along? There's a lot of profoundly strong colours, isn't there? And how he's used her, this lady coming into the frame, to bring and emphasise this relationship here with these guys, and whether they're having a bit of crack with each other and having a laugh. But this is his focal point. This is what he wants to bring in. This is where he wants you to go. Obviously this is important, but this is the grey, the blandness of the landscape. And he's waited. And this is what I love about this book, is that he's bringing colour into it accidentally, but he's not just bringing it in, he's setting up another shot within a shot to get it. It's fantastic. You take that out, it's just a shot with some guys having a bit of a laugh with each other. But the theme which is running through this body of work is the colour. Again, look, there we go again. There's some very bold colours in the 80s. So he's depicting that added colour to that working class landscape and giving it some significance in a way, and argue it. It's great. It's great. It's what it's all about. It's beautiful. Look at that. Look at the redness of the cars. And the guy, I've just noticed him. I hadn't noticed that before, because I'm going to the colour, and that is making me. I want to explore the shot afterwards, and I'm going straight to the red and that red there, because now I've been educated. I want to search for where he's looking at colour-wise. He also uses complementary colours as well. You can see he's adding certain colours, and then he's putting the complementaries in, the blues and the yellows, and it's fantastic. And there we go, a little yellow bag. Look at that. Oh man. We take that away, it becomes a normal shot, doesn't it? It's a bleak wilderness. He's even put this roller in a sort of greyness and a bleakness, but what's given it dimension is the colour which is associated to both of these people, with the yellow and the red. Yellow again, not yellow. Oh man. I'm using the blue. It might just be me getting excited about it, seeing a little bit of difference in it, and just not seeing it as a bleak Scottish landscape, but seeing it as a photographer who likes to add colour to his work. And maybe he was just following that yellow car around a lot. And look at this, it's just, look at how this almost is regimental, even to the marches here. Interesting that there's no text in this about where they are, and that's interesting. And it's a beautiful body of work. I haven't shown you it all. I've left quite a lot out on the left-hand side, and I think you should go and buy this. I think it's a lovely addition. It's a learning point, this book. It's actually given me ideas to take my time and think about how colour enters my frame, and how colour can express and add some definition to the landscape, but actually not so much putting it in, but taking it out and using it subtly. I hope that makes some sense. This book's made some sense, and I'm pleased I've got a hold of it, and why oh why it was put away for so long, and maybe we'll never know. But thank you. Fantastic book.